Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to wish you all a Happy New Year. It's a great pleasure to be here to make some important announcements today. But first of all, to wish you Happy New Year. My team was extraordinarily generous to me. They gave me New Year's Eve off before dispatching me on New Year's Day to Terrace and the Northwest. It's a pleasure to be here in Vancouver today and welcome you and welcome my MLA colleagues who are joining me here today as well, and I'll be introducing them subsequently here. So about 6 weeks ago now, back on November 25th, I announced my bid to become the next Premier of the province of British Columbia. Since that time, I've had the opportunity to put on literally thousands of miles across the province of British Columbia. I have had the privilege of face-to-face conversations, discussions, meetings with close to 2,000 people now across the province. And over 30 days, over 100 meetings in many, many communities from Dawson Creek to Duncan, Prince George to Prince Rupert, Kelowna to Courtenay, through the use of new technologies such as our electronic town halls that we have been hosting. We've now hosted 3 across the province. I've been able to communicate with thousands of party members in every region of our great province. And in fact, tonight we are making history again by reaching out to nearly 40,000 BC Liberal Party members in the first ever province-wide telephone town hall that we will be hosting this evening, and I hope a number of you are able to be a part of that as well. In meeting with the people, talking to the people, and listening to the people, it's clear to me that people want a greater role in the decisions that affect their quality of life. This is about the way that decisions are made. It's how government makes their decisions that is just as important to people as what those decisions are. It's about new opportunities for public participation and enhancing trust. And it's about transparency and empowering elected representatives. This is a campaign about bringing people back into government decisions. And it's about a new style of leadership in this great province. Those words have to be backed up with concrete actions that show new ways of doing business with government. And I want to describe a few of those to you today. First of all, people are telling me that government has to create more opportunities for them to connect to and participate in decisions that impact the quality of their lives. Therefore, as Premier, I propose we take the opportunity with the upcoming HST referendum, which, as I'm sure you all recall with great clarity, I intend to move up to June, to add at least one more question to that ballot, hopefully on June 24th. That question should be on the future of the carbon tax. We have a critical decision to make. The revenue-neutral carbon tax has been increasing every year and reaches its peak under the current plan on July 1st, 2012, at around 7 cents a litre. After that date, our government has to make a hard decision. Do we continue the carbon tax beyond 2012 and increase that carbon tax as the plan would suggest? Or do we take a pause for 3 years to review the impacts and implications of that tax and assess whether that tax is meeting the objectives it's set out to meet? And this is a very significant question for all British Columbians. Like the HST, it will impact every family in this province. It has everything to do with the future direction of our economy and our way of life. And I've heard from both sides on this issue. Many members express pride in BC being a leader in championing climate change. But I've also heard from some people, like farmers and truckers, who have concerns about their ability to stay competitive in the future. The bottom line is that this is an important enough decision that we need to make it with the people of BC. And under my premiership, they'll get that chance on June 24, 2011, alongside the vote on the HST. As Premier, I'll also hold regular regional caucus meetings in communities across BC to keep our caucus in touch with the public. And I'll utilize new technologies such as telephone town hall meetings, online chats, and social media to host accountability sessions between citizens and MLAs, ministers, and the Premier. Second, people are telling me that government must enhance accountability and transparency in government decisions. One recent decision that I believe has eroded trust with the people was the decision of the Crown to strike a settlement deal with the accused in the BC Rail deal, or BC Rail trial. This deal left the taxpayers covering some $6 million in expenses, even though the accused were found guilty. I know this bothers people, and it certainly bothers me. Even though we can't change the decision, the public deserves to know why that decision was made and what could be done better. Therefore, as Premier, I'm committing to engaging an independent third party to examine and report back on the legal settlement to be sure it was appropriate and reasonable, and to make recommendations as to changes in policies so that similar future settlements are fair and protect the taxpayer. People believe it's imperative that government learn from these experiences, and we will. I'll also commit to full, regular fall sittings, including a fall throne speech, and greater proactive release of information from government, starting with things like ministerial and MLA expenses. Finally, I'll take the advice of former Conflict of Interest commissioners and initiate a proper review of the existing Conflict of Interest Act and create a new Integrity Act and modernize it for the needs of the 21st century. This new Integrity Act will apply not only to elected officials, but also to senior public service and political staff. Third, people are telling me we must do better when it comes to how we create our budgets and how we set our priorities when we spend your tax dollars. I believe that if we move the date of the throne speech, the priorities of government and the public can actually be reflected in the following budget. So starting this year, the throne speech will move to the fall sitting, several months ahead of the spring budget. 2009 also showed us that holding a general election in the early days of a budget before the final numbers are available does nothing to build public confidence in government. Therefore, as Premier, I will move the set general election date to the early fall. If both parties in the legislature agree, we can put that in place for the 2013 election. In the absence of such agreement, our party will seek the electors' support to have that change put in place for the 2017 election. Fourth, people are telling me that they want leadership that empowers MLAs to serve their constituents individually and as a team. As Premier, I'll work with colleagues to create a caucus charter that will codify both the rights and responsibilities of MLAs, ministers, and the Premier. This will underscore the value of a strong caucus built on trust, mutual respect, and an openness and willingness to explore new ideas. Empowerment also means ensuring that ministers have real control over their departments, their public service, and their budgets. They should also have a say in their communications, standing up for both their successes and their challenges. Finally, I am hearing that empowerment, accountability, and representation reaches beyond provincial politics. It also touches on federal politics. The Senate is the last unelected bastion of representative government. Maybe it's time to change that. I believe a public discussion should commence on electing senators in British Columbia to nominate replacements as BC Senate vacancies come up. Combined with advocating for more House of Commons seats for BC and reinstating what I thought was a great institution, the Provincial Congress, the voice of BC's people will be even stronger in Ottawa. In closing, you may have also noticed today that we have a new brand for our campaign. It says, "The people are coming." This is something I know to be true. I've seen it and I've heard it in countless communities across British Columbia. Many people are coming out to participate in this leadership campaign. The people are coming to stand up for their communities, make their voices heard, and make their issues known. And they are coming to tell us, as politicians, that it's time for them to become full participants in the way our government is run. Everything I've said today is about empowering the public, enhancing their ability to participate, their ability to be heard, and to be represented. As a candidate, I'm seeing people get excited because they realize that they're coming back to making decisions that have a direct effect on their quality of life. As we launch into the next phase of this journey towards leadership and the premiership, I hope, I'll continue to meet and talk with people, to involve them in my campaign, and to share with them my vision of good government. We will bring the people back into government, and we'll bring government back to the people. Thank you.